Welcome. Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Entitling this episode, Homebound Collecting Enjoyment. There was a terrific article on Beckett.com by Ryan Cracknell about 11 things sports card collectors can do while they're stuck at home. I highly recommend the article. Well written. Ryan's always puts out a lot, and it's good stuff. So encourage you to go to Beckett.com and download or read that article. It's interesting. As is my custom, I probably never agree 100% with everything. But it's not that I disagree with this. I read it and I thought, this is number one. There are 11 things that sports card collectors could do. There was an emphasis on what would be fun, then also perhaps an emphasis on what would be helpful, and then would it be profitable. And so rather than taking Ryan's article where he was looking whether things are fun or helpful or profitable, I want to flip it and I want to look at his 11 things and add a couple more with thinking, first, is it profitable? Second, is it helpful? And third, is it fun? Obviously, if your job is not impacted, your family finances are not impacted, then being home could be an element of fun first, then helpful, then maybe profitable. Whereas if you're not working, then your side gig needs to all of a sudden get profitable, and you need to be working, doing things that are getting your collection, your cards, your stuff in shape to be profitable and to be helpful to that. And if it's fun, that's a lesser importance. Anyway, Ryan's first thing was clear your desk. Now, those of you know I got a really big desk. I don't really like clearing my desk. I like knowing there's some stacks and what's in the stack, and I can go straight to the stack. So again, he's right. It is a running gag. So I don't really clear my desk, but I do organize my desk periodically, and you should too. Again, that's not necessarily fun. It could be profitable if you find something buried, somewhere on your desk, that's something that you've been missing. Number two was get organized. I actually think that's number one. Getting organized. I'm using this time to get organized. I've got a bunch of cards that I want to transact. There's, just when you're breaking down stuff that you have, then you got to, eventually it's going to go somewhere else. It's not, nothing is going to stay where it is forever. And so doing some organizational work is good. Also, that again, if it's a certain kind of organization, is definitely profitable. It's very helpful because then you know where things are. And I actually enjoy getting organized. I think that's one of the other indicators of being a collector more than an investor, or an enthusiast more than an addict, that you really enjoy working with the cards. Number three was continue to support card shop owners and dealers. I would broaden that to really the whole industry, but certainly your local card shop and dealers that you have a personal relationship with. The social distancing, as I said, should not be social disconnection. So if you can continue to buy and sell cards, again, if you're needing to do more selling, you may still, even though I'm doing mainly selling, occasionally I'll buy cards because it's just good to reload with some things that you can sell. So I love getting packages in the mail. So getting a package, although the coronavirus people say the virus can live on cardboard for up to 24 hours. They said leave the package outside for 24 hours to kill the virus. That sounds excessive to me, but like I said, everybody loves getting packages in the mail that contain stuff that you like. So continue to support your card shop. Although around here, I think it's a non-essential business, so you'd have to support them without being physically present. I'll mention I was on the Hobby Hotline, the really cool radio show, internet radio, kind of a call-in that's every Saturday morning, and really got into the fact that the way people even go to card shops is going to be different. It's going to browse and take a lot of time and linger. That may be not the way people do it anymore. Number four is check out some online breaks. A very small percentage of what I'm interested in is brand new cards. So I think some of the breaks would be interesting, and you should pick your spots. Number five was make or update your want lists and trade lists. I'm not able to do that because I have, like I've always said, now not much of a focus in my collecting. I'm trying to have less. I'm probably better organized in my mind than I am in my stacks. But if you are able to make or update your want list, trade list on a spreadsheet or some way to have that so you can pass it on, that's probably a good idea. And like I said, it might be fun, but even more than that, it might be profitable by seeing what you have, and just the act of writing it down or transcribing it or typing it in gives you some sense of what you have and what you hold dear and what you hold dear and what you hold dearest. 6 was flip through a binder. Again, I'm not a binder guy. I think Stefan is a binder guy, and many people I respect are binder people, but I don't like plastic sheets anymore. I just like to have boxes of cards, shoe boxes, 800 count boxes, monster boxes, so I can go through them more quickly. But I'll admit, when you have a binder, it's easy to get through the cards quicker and look at them 9 at a time. 7 was reassess your collection. I'm constantly doing that. I think you should too. Again, that's very profitable. I pray that people are not getting sick unto death with this. Most younger people are not in danger very much of dying from COVID-19, but older people are. And reassessing your collection, not to be morbid about it, you ought to know what you have, and you ought to have an estate plan that says if anything does happen to me for whatever reason, it's nice for your family to even just to know that you may have a lot of cards, but you know the value better than they do, and some way that you can help them understand that would be profitable and hopefully enjoyable when you have this time at home. Number 8, show off what you've got. That's not me. I'm not a show off. I don't really want to show what I've got. I'm very selective in the way I do that. But for most people, that's a pretty cool thing. And there's so many creative ways to do that digitally, especially digitally now. And then you could just enhance it. Crafts with cards was number 9. That's a big no-no in my mind. That'd be but I'm not that creative. That's not my gift to be able to do a collage or a decoupage or something. I did create a graded card display holder that people seem to like, but it's not really something I can make commercially available. So I do have a creative spark, but it's not so much on the crafts. Leave that to my wonderful wife and wonderful sisters as well. Number 10 is become a creator. I already became a creator. I got a podcast. I'm not so much social media, but I'm doing the podcast. Many of you are on social media, and again, card collecting is a very kind of a photogenic hobby. People can really enjoy, and especially when you're enthusiastic, they're gonna catch your enthusiasm. So get creative in the way you share what you're doing, what you love about the hobby. Again, that can be profitable, short term and long term, and fun. Number 11 was stay in touch. Again, no social disconnection, just social distancing. You need to stay in contact. And like I said, I went on the hobby hotline last Saturday. It was a lot of fun. I recommend that you, I guess if you followed all my recommendations, you spend all your time listening to podcasts. But that's a good one. Again, I've listened to it even when I wasn't a guest, but I was a guest this last Saturday, and the guys were a lot of fun and some good call-ins as well. Actually, that was 11. I actually had a couple more ones that are more on the practical side. Maybe it's 12. Again, I'm a former professor, and I really think that even regardless of your age, you need to be a lifelong learner. And part of the profitable enjoyment of this industry is doing some research. And if you're more of a math person, there's plenty of mathematical analysis kinds of things you can do for what's selling, what's going up, what's going down, so you can see where there are potential chances to make some money. So, as well as reading up on baseball prospects or the next round of football drafts coming up, getting ahead. Again, if you're in the herd, you buy what everybody buys after they buy it. If you do some of your own original research, you can buy what people are going to buy before they buy it because you've done your own research. Well, this time where you're sheltered in place is an opportunity to enjoy your hobby and to do some of the homework or preparation to get a better handle on not just the newer players. I mean, you could read up and kind of get an idea of respective Hall of Famers in each sport if you're more of a vintage person. And then 13, and lastly, first let me thank the sponsors before I give my unlucky 13th. But the sponsors are Topps Panini and Upper Deck, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Huggins & Scott Auctions, and Heritage Auctions. Number 13 is get creative. I really think there are a number of the listeners who are going to need to raise some money in the next 6 weeks. And to do that, I'm going to challenge you to to get creative in the way you are selling cards. And I would like to encourage you to try another platform. I know I did a episode with Doug Cale about alternative selling platforms. But if you've never thought about Beckett Marketplace, you ought to check it out. If you've never thought about ComC, you absolutely ought to check that out. If you've never auctioned off any cards, again, that has a little bit longer time horizon. But between Heritage Auctions and Huggins Scott Auctions, if you have stuff, well, you should look at their catalogs and see if you've got stuff like what they sell, and they'll hopefully be interested in your stuff and get you good prices for it. And of course, the Topps, Panini, and Upper Deck are all doing some direct kinds of things. So again, I just think in this time, enjoying your hobby, if you were only a collector and you never sold, I think it's time to think about selling. Again, you don't want to be selling if something's going down in value. Do the research to see, well, I don't want to sell that then. I want to sell something that I can get my value out of, if at all possible. So, I guess, well, just in summary, I'm enjoying being homebound here. I'm not going to enjoy it forever, but I'm enjoying it for these days because I've got plenty of cards to organize for the eventual sale. If you've got good ideas or how to spend this time, if this shelter in place lingers, it certainly seems that it will in Dallas, Texas. Send me an email at Dr. James Beckett, all spelled out, Dr. D-O-C-T-O-R, James Beckett at gmail.com. And I'll try to incorporate your suggestions or questions or clarifications into a future episode. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy collecting. I hope this miserable situation we're in is not for well, it's not forever, but I hope it's not as long as what they're predicting, so that we can get back to enjoying. I miss not being able to go to shows and all the other different things that we perhaps had taken for granted. So hang in there, be safe, and follow the new social rules. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another episode.
Is doing